I'm on my week vacation here, the second week of November, and had a lot of good deer sightings this past weekend when I was down there. Weather was great, nice and cold, crisp, and I saw like 11 deer one day, 9 deer one day, 7 deer one day. Saw my target buck, but he was 225 yards away, walking across the field and walked down into some tall grass and stuff, and a 225 yard shot at a moving buck in the tall grass. That's not a good recipe for success, so I went ahead and let him go. I still got plenty of time here. I want to make sure I make an ethical shot, and so it rained real bad. We had close to 3 inches of rain probably. Last we checked, it was over 2 1/4. We have had more rain than since then, and so I did some video editing on my niece's wedding, and just about have that done, by the way. So I made some progress, and got the clothes all washed up, and my batteries and everything recharged. So it's Tuesday afternoon. I'm heading down. I'm going to get down in time to get a sit-in. Supposed to have a 50% chance of rain the rest of the day, and about 100% I think tomorrow. But I got one stand that has a roof on it. The Jury app says it's supposed to be great hunting weather, so hey, I got a roof, might as well take advantage of it on this hunt. But then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday look like it's going to be very good weather. So heading on down there now. We're going to get everything situated and get over to the woods, pull some trail cams on the way in, and see what's lurking and make a game plan from there. So all right, hammer down. Tuesday afternoon, we still had some rain in the area, so to protect my video gear, I went to the boat seat stand. This big 4-point stepped out, and I had him on trail cam last year as a 2.5 or 3.5 year old 4-point. He's still 4 points, just has a little more mass on the rack, a bigger body this year. And everybody says I should let my wife Becky shoot him, so this one has now been dubbed Becky's buck. It was Tuesday afternoon, still had plenty of time, so I went ahead and gave him a pass.
It's a little rainy and messy this morning, so I'm sitting in my box stand because it has a roof. According to the Jury app, it's supposed to be great this morning, but they downgraded this afternoon to only good. Pulled the trail cam last night, and I've only been getting the big 4. We call it Becky's buck. But the big 9 comes here every now and then, about once a week or so. So I'm hoping to cross path with him. At least I'll stay dry this morning. That's the main key. Don't want to get soaking wet and freeze to death down here. So take a little while for the sun to come up, but hopefully I'll get a little action here in a little bit. Sometimes it can be a little late morning stand, so hope this rain will stop for a little while and I'll come out and start feeding. And maybe one of these does will draw that big buck out of that bottom down there. I think he's bedding down in that bottom below me, down below that green patch it just showed you. So maybe he'll stop by on his way to bed and check for a hot doe. Alright, let's see what happens.
Well, the rain had started blowing in, so I had to take my camera down from its where I had it mounted. So sorry about some of this footage. It's going to be a little shaky as I try to zoom and hold with one hand, and although it gives me good practice for later in the week. But this buck here stepped out. He's only got a G2 on his right main beam, and so we've named him Tom Slick, and I had no idea he was as big as he was. The trail cam fooled me. I thought he was a younger buck. But as you can see, I let him walk after having him broadside at 30 yards. Well, I passed up a shot at Tom Slick this morning, 30 yards broadside. And he's got kind of short tines, so I was him-hawing around there about whether to shoot him or not, but I got to look at the body, and he's definitely a mature deer. The only thing is on the right beam, he only has a G2, brow tine in the G2, so I call him Tom Slick. So it's probably actually a good deer to get out of the herd down here, and he's mature, so too late for that right now though. So I may rethink that since I haven't shot anything this year and it's starting to get a little later in the week, and he definitely was a mature buck. So anyhow, I'm gonna head back to the cabin, regroup, check my trail cams, and get a bite to eat. And this rain's supposed to move out of here tonight, so hopefully it'll be a little drier the next 4 days. Well, this morning, not sure if I messed up or not. I have a buck that only has a G2 on his right main beam. We call him Tom Slick. And he came out, and I'd only had some pictures of his rack and stuff, and I didn't know how old a deer he was. He came out, his body was pretty mature, and his face, I could tell from the stand, it was real grayish white or whatever. He walked right by my trail cam, and when I got down, I checked the trail cam, and he has a gray old face, and I'm like, well, I probably should have taken a shot at him. I had him 30 yards and broadside, and his tines aren't real tall, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. So if he comes back, he's now a hit lister, because I don't think he's going to do much more. I think he's a pretty old buck. So well, Wednesday night I didn't have a whole lot of buck activity. As a matter of fact, I didn't even see a buck. But I had two groups of does that came in here. I think it might have been a group of 2 and a group of 4. The way they got all mixed in here, it might have been a group of 3 and a group of 3. I wasn't sure. But apparently there are no bucks chasing in this scene. It's just all does, and one doe, she was just chasing them all around there. Put on quite a show. And then after that, a little button buck started kicking up his heels. A cold front was coming through, so I think that really had the deer just jumping like crazy. The front was coming out of the north. I could actually feel the temperature dropping, and I think the deer probably could too. They put on quite a show. right, when I'm hunting up in the Griffin area, normally we go out and have Mexican after a good evening hunt. But down where I'm at now, there's only one restaurant in town. I don't think it serves Mexican. So we're doing the next best thing. Tamales on the stove. How about that? That ought to be good. It should really be good. Tamale, as Jacob would say. That's a granddad joke. Anyway, let me get back to cooking. Don't want to burn my tamales. It's a long way back to town to get anything else. Well, maybe this will help me out with a buck grunt tomorrow. That should call something in. I'm pretty sure of it. Well, when I went to bed last night, the chance of rain was 20%. It had been 10%. Then it rained all night long. I wake up, check the forecast again, and it's 60%. I wish I could do that in Vegas. Yeah, I want to bet on red. No, man, make that black. Well, I'd be right all the time. These weather guys, I tell you what. But it rained all day long yesterday. I mean, it wasn't ever a period when it wasn't raining. I mean, all day long, even if it was just a drizzle and stuff. And so it rained all night long, too. But it looks like it's going to maybe clear out this morning. I'm going to go ahead. I was going to go hunt another stand, but I'm going to go hunt the one that still has the roof on it because I'm not trusting this. On the Jury app, though, you can see that showing great. So I'm hoping we have a few reindeer running around out there, or they've been pinned down all night and are hungry, want to come in on the food block and grab a bite to eat or something. And so I'm going to give it another try here. It's supposed to get down to 31 tonight, so cold front coming in, rain stopping, hoping the deer will be on the move. So obviously this is not my camo, so I better get on the move. Quit talking. Let's go hunt. I don't have one of them fancy scent crusher cabinets, but I just have my closet here with my camo hanging in there. Got my little enforcer up here. Turn that off. I'm gonna be breathing no ozone this morning. Turn it off. There we go. Alright. And now my clothes should be scent free in my own personal. If I can get far enough back in this little 18-foot trailer, my own personal closet. Amazing what a mountain man can come up with. Alright, the conversion was successful. I'm now an official mountain man hunter. I looked kind of like a gnome earlier, so hey, the deer will appreciate me looking more like this, I think. Alright, let's go get them. I want to put the camera up because it's rainy outside. I don't want to get it wet, so see you in the stand. Well, we had 5.5 inches of rain in 4 days. Yeah, it was still raining Thursday morning. Right at daybreak, I already had a doe coming out. That cold front had them on the move. Still a little too early to see anything on the video camera, but hey, that's a good sign. Buck's moving early. Well, a little bit after 8 o'clock, I had this buck that I call Sebastian. He has a kind of a crab claw on the tip of his right main beam. So that's how we got that name. He came out here and there was a couple of does out and he started nosing them around, chased them around for a little while. And I was thinking, based on the way his body looks, that he was probably a 3.5-year-old buck. He had a pretty good sized belly on him, but it hadn't really started drooping down yet. So I thought he was about 3.5. Wasn't extremely wide, but had a real pretty rack. But I opted to let him go. I was going to save him for later. Well, Sebastian came out and he knows these does around and chased them around for probably 10 minutes or so. And this Sendero that's out in front of me, he eventually worked his way down towards the bottom and left pretty much at the 1 o'clock position from where I'm sitting.
That was crazy. I'd already shut all my windows and was getting my backpack together. And that big old boy walked out right there. I'm hand holding this camera because I had already put it in my backpack. Well, that just changed my plans for the morning. I was fixing to go have hot chocolate. Well, isn't that a fine how you do? I've already got all my, as you can probably see, I've closed up all my curtains and everything. It's 10:47. I stayed about 10:45. I got to go use the restroom, and that hot chocolate was sounding good. So I was about to get down. And I can see these curtains they're just a burlap cover that I put up around inside here to kind of block my view so I wouldn't be silhouetted. So I could still see through them. I just happened to look up, and there he stepped right out my left window. I had 3 cameras up. I'd already taken all my cameras down. I reached into the bag to pull this camera out. I had the gun propped up on the side of the stand, hand holding the camera. I got no idea if I got him there or not, but I've been sitting here too long. It's had too much rain this week to let him go. I'd seen Sebastian earlier, and I passed up Tom Slick, who was a lot older than I thought he was. I said, oh, you never know when that one moment is gonna hit. Well, let's go down there and see what we got. You look down here. I had my rope to start lowering my gun and my bag down I was getting it all ready to go when he stepped out there. I shot him out that window. I was going to trim that bush. It's kind of in my way a little bit, but I had enough to shoot through it. All right, well, that's the boat seat behind me. And I was about ready to get down. It was 11:15, and I had hot chocolate on the brain. It had been rainy and messy. It rained all day yesterday, as you can see. That puddle right there. This place is a soggy mess. Everything's wet. And so I was gonna go back and get me a cup of hot chocolate and bowl of soup and regroup for the afternoon. And right down here, my food plot, all of a sudden I saw this buck run in, and he was kind of looking back up behind him, kind of towards where I parked my golf cart. Maybe that was a diversionary tactic. But he stepped out down here, and I'd already put the camera in the bag. I had to get it out. I was hand holding the camera. Put the gun up on the side of my ground blind there, or my blind. So I was shooting a 7mm Magnum one-handed, filming with the other hand. Does that count as a 7mm Magnum pistol? I don't know. But anyway, God, this food plot is muddy. I think I'm gonna cut through the woods here because that is a muddy mess. And this food plot is a muddy mess. He was standing some down right around in here, I believe. If you look back up this way, let's try not to spin too quickly here. There's my There's the stand I call the boot seat. Well, this track job's a little easier than one last year. Well, what do you know? I think I just shot Sebastian. That's the one I passed up this morning. Doggone it. Well, it all happened so fast sometimes. Yep, there's a crab claw. Yeah, that's why I called you Sebastian. Was that right there? Man, this rack is pretty chocolate, though. All right, well, I got a couple of bigger ones running around here. At least he won't be quite as hard to load. Well, we've been fighting some tough conditions down here this week. It's been rainy, messy. It's supposed to get down in the low 30s, and so I was in the boat seat because it has a roof on it this morning, and I actually passed this deer up this morning. This one I call Sebastian. I could see his crab claw. Got some good footage of him chasing some does around, and I was about to lower the bag down, like I said, and Sebastian was here a couple hours ago, and he went down that direction, and he came all the way from. He has somehow completely circled me. And he came running in from this direction, and I guess trying to look out through the burlap, I thought he was a little bigger than he was. I thought he was a different deer I had, one of my target bucks.
and everything happened so fast. I was holding the camera with one hand, shooting a 7mm Magnum one-handed, and so anyhow, he will do. All right, well, I still have another buck tag, so I can still go after a couple of these other dudes, and I got the ice broken. I still have a few more days of vacation left. All right, let's get him to the processor and go pull a few trail cams and rechange our game plan here. All right, Sebastian, let's go home. Boy, the old wire block crew would have been dangerous if they'd have had one of these golf carts. Had you call for an Uber? All right, I got him all loaded up. Never underestimate the power of a trucker's hitch and a cedar stick, because I'm down here by myself. But I got him. I didn't film any of that because I didn't want to be too embarrassed, but it worked. I could have edited it out though, but anyway, I stuck a stick out of that part of his belly. I pulled him up to there and tied him off with a trucker's hitch, and then I had a cedar stick, and I just wedged it up this way on underneath his back legs and grabbed his front legs, and whoop, there he went. That's why they call me the professor.